This is the same spreadsheet that we had in Excel. I showed you how to summarize a set of data with descriptive statistics. Now I want to show you how to summarize a set of data by creating tables and graphs. And the tables and graphs that I'm going to show you how to create in this video are meant to display something called frequencies. Now before we get into creating the tables and graphs, let's talk about what the word frequency means. The frequency of a value is the number of times the value appears in the data set. So let's look at the number of times 30 appears in the age column. 30 appears once in the age column, so the frequency of 30 is 1 because the age of 30 only appears once in the data set. Let's look at the number of units column and look at this value of 13 units. The value of 13 units actually shows up twice in the data set because we have two people who are taking 13 units. So we would say that this value has a frequency of 2, and it looks like two people are taking 12 units, so this value of 12 units would have a frequency of 2 because it shows up 2 times. So the frequency of a value is the number of times it appears inside its column of data. Now let's talk about how to display frequencies in a table or in a graph. And the way that we present the frequencies actually depends on what type of data we have. It depends on if it's quantitative or qualitative. If we have a column of qualitative data, we would present the frequencies in something called a bar graph. And let's create a bar graph for the grade level column. We need a line for the x-axis. So the values that appear in the grade level column are freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So we'll put those values down here. We'll put those words down here. I'll have to make the font smaller so it can fit. This is freshman. This is sophomore. Junior and senior. We need to have a y-axis that'll show the frequencies. We'll just put some tick marks on the y-axis. Now what's the frequency of freshman? Well, freshman appears twice. So what we would do is we would make a bar going up to 2 right here. And how many times does sophomore appear? Sophomore only appears once in this column of data, so since sophomore has a frequency of 1, it goes up to the first tick mark. This just shows that it appears 1 time. What about junior? We have 1 junior in the data set, so it has a frequency of 1. And senior also appears once, so it also goes up to the first tick mark. So we just created a bar graph of this column of data for grade level. What about for this other column right here, for college major? We could also create a bar graph for college majors. Whenever you have a column of qualitative or categorical data, you can create a bar graph. We'll talk about what to do when you have a column of qualitative. We'll talk about what you do when you have a column of quantitative data after we finish with these two columns of qualitative data. So let's put the values down here. And since it's a column of nominal data, the values don't have a clear order to them like they did over here. Since this was a column of ordinal data, it was clear what order we should put these values in.